Hey y'all, happy Tuesday. Um, welcome to my channel. I'll introduce myself. So I am Marissa Price. I am a Black woman social worker, healer, anti-oppression educator. And today I'm just going live to talk about a topic of interest to me, and that is John Henryism. Oh, there is some feedback. Okay, it's gone now. Okay. Okay. Hello. Can y'all let me know if you're hearing feedback on your end or if it's just on my end? But yes. Let me give it a second. Just some technical issues now. No feedback. Okay, good. I'll just turn my volume down then because I am hearing myself talk. But yes, this is topic of discussion is John Henryism. So John Henryism was coined by Dr. Sherman James, who is an epidemiologist in the 1970s. And thank y'all so much for being here, by the way. The lady, hello, and miscellaneous AB. Thank you for being here. But yes, this is a research. So it came out of research in rural North Carolina, a Black man doing research on the reasons why there were such high rates of hypertension, cardiovascular diseases. Um, and so it hypothesizes, right, that Black Americans with a strong belief that they can succeed in life by working hard will suffer elevated levels of stress, hypertension, and other health problems. So it's really based on the legend of John Henry, if y'all have heard that, um, which is someone who was a steel driver, right? As the legend has it, in the 1870s, he took on the challenge to try to outwork a machine. Um, so he did that successfully, but in the process, he overexerted himself, he exhausted himself, and he died at the end of that. So he beat the machine, but he paid the price, is the quote that Dr. Sherman James shared as I was researching this. So he was outworking a machine, right? And how many of us are taught that we have to overexert ourselves, put all of our energy and more into working to try to outwork oppression. All of these systems that we're navigating day to day, individual action cannot address systemic oppression. But yet we're told that if we just worked harder, if we weren't lazy, the term that is thrown around all the time, if we just dedicated ourselves more, then we could overcome systemic issues, really structural issues that we're experiencing. And the truth is that we can't. The truth is that we can't. And the resistance, like it lies in our ability to rest and care for ourselves and treat ourselves like human beings while in these systems that treat us like we're machines, constantly put us against machines, just like the legend of John Henry, right? To try to outwork these things. I even think about things like the algorithm when it comes to social media. We're put into competition with these machines still. Algorithms are machines to constantly produce content, to constantly keep in contact. They're not human. These systems that we live in, they're not human. Yeah. Hello, y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all so much for being here. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of ask y'all, how how are you healing from this? How are you viewing this? This constant pressure to produce all the time that we have, and the way it impacts our health. So a lot of us experience things like hypertension, cardiovascular diseases at such a young age, right? We have lower life expectancies because we're trying to outwork machines. We're trying to outwork systemic oppression. Um, so I know for myself, Right. Just to share something, my dad passed away at 39 at such a young age from a cardiovascular disease. And so me having that in mind, I am now on the path, like, I have to take care of myself even harder, right? This has to be a priority. I have to rest. I have this family history of people dying really early, and this is the case for a lot of us, from things like hypertension, um, heart attacks, strokes at such a young age. And even when we talk about Black women in toxic jobs, right? The stress that we have within these systems, trying to do our best, trying to put all of our effort in, and being constantly met with hostility at every turn, that has an impact on our health. The impact of that cannot be understated. So it's crucial that we take care of ourselves. It's crucial that we put our well being first, that we rest, that we treat ourselves as human beings. Even if these systems don't regard us as human beings, we can still regard ourselves as human beings and rest and prioritize our peace and exit these toxic environments that do not view us as human, that want us to try to outwork the machine, similar to the legend of John Henry, right? To put all of this work on us. I interviewed Jackie Abram on my channel a couple weeks ago, and she was talking about the workhorse. So a lot of the times in these jobs, they will give us multiple roles, all of these responsibilities, because they don't view us as human. So they keep adding it on, and all we get told is, "Good job, you're doing this so amazingly. You're excelling." Meanwhile, we're breaking down inside. We don't feel safe to tell anyone because it's not a safe environment for us to tell anyone that we're actually struggling. And so we get to the point, a lot of us, where we reach a severe health crisis, whether that's physical, mental, spiritual, or all three, because we are human in this constant pressure to work and overexert ourselves. That's not sustainable. We need to rest. We need rest. There is no way you can survive this life without rest. So I hope to continue to push that message more, especially for generations coming up. The pressure will always be there. As long as we're in systems of oppression, the pressure to overexert ourselves will always be there. Because who does it benefit? If it's a status quo, the people who are in power, the people who maintain these systems, don't view us as human, don't regard us, as having the need for rest, but we can regard ourselves in that way. Yeah, Lady Bird. Yeah, I'm over 40 now, have been stuck in corporate grind, needing to make a shift because the stress leads to burnout and self-deletion ideation. Yeah, put a great deal of work to recover and to find healthier work. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Yes, the corporate grind. Ooh, that's real. That's real. Yeah, and I'm just reflecting on my experiences being in corporate. Um, it was hard. It was hard because in these systems, we're treated like robots often. And we're just supposed to be productive, especially when we're talking about going into this time of the year when things start to get cold in the Western Hemisphere. Our bodies naturally start to slow down. And yet the pressure on us to constantly be at the same level of productivity, it's not human. These systems that we live in are not human. I mean, going back to enslavement, we were regarded as machines. We were not regarded as human. And little by little, right, the three-fifths compromise, which counted us as three-fifths of a human being. That's real. So we're still living with these legacies. They didn't go anywhere. And I think that's the lie that's really told to us, that all of this disappeared. All of these things disappear when really we're still seeing the remnants of them today. They still operate in the workplace, especially. So thank you for sharing that. Yeah. Hello, hope and thank you. Hello, hello. Twins, hello, welcome. Yes, we've been conditioned for so long to keep going, work, work, work in these oppressive systems. Yes, only to be easily discarded when they feel like getting rid of us. That part. Only to be easily discarded when they feel like getting rid of us. That is so real. That is so real. Yep. We will put in all of our effort plus more. We'll put in all of our free time, all of our passion into our work. And what is it, when they feel like it, right? When they feel like it's like, okay, discard you because I don't even see you as human. So they don't value us. They don't value us. So that's real. That's very real. Thank you. Lady SAB, I'm over the corporate grind. Me too. Me too. Yeah. That is exactly why I had to pivot to entrepreneur. And I'm in the process of not repeating that cycle of treating myself like I'm in corporate. Even though I'm working by myself, it still takes time to unravel everything that you've learned about work from being in the corporate system. And being in schools, it sets us up on the path to be in a corporate environment, right? It's so structured, it's highly rigid. The roles are so defined. Don't try to question your teachers. It's not like a communal knowledge sharing, the learning model that we have in the US. It's very much teacher, student, rigid, structured, don't talk during the lessons. And a lot of these things, they're not our culture. They're not our culture. This was kind of forced on us. And I always think about connecting to indigenous nations in residential schools, using that term loosely, to really like torture centers, right? Trying to impress someone else's rigid, inhuman culture onto us, and it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel aligned for a lot of us. But then we're told that something is wrong with us when we can't do it, when they like to slap behavior issues on Black children a lot. Um, Really, this is a culture that was forced on us. So it's a lot to unlearn. Yeah. Lady Bird, I wish I better understood the courage for these online communities geared towards unpacking how these systems tear us apart inhumanely. These calls help cope and advocate for better environments. Yeah, yeah, I'm glad. And I hope to facilitate that kind of space here to unlearning, actually learning the systems, but then unlearning what we've internalized that something's wrong with us. The reason why we can't mold ourselves or like contort ourselves to fit into these spaces, well, because we were never meant to be in these spaces in the first place. So it's always going to feel very like foreign, for lack of a better word, these systems that we're forced into. So yeah, yeah, hope and victory. We're still not regarded as human. No, we're not. No, we're not. No, no, that's so true. I mean, and getting back to John Henryism, right? He was not viewed as human. He was trying to outwork a machine, the legend has it, to outwork a machine. How many of us are viewed as robots in this society? That we have to constantly be productive. We constantly have to be at the same level of functioning every day. Um, it's just not human. This is not how we were intended to live. And I think the truth of that is really starting to set in for a lot of us. Um, the effects that it has had, right? When I talked about, my family history, premature death, early aging, experiencing things like hypertension, cardiovascular diseases at such a young age. I'm talking 20s and 30s. 20s and 30s. This is real. The stress of living within these systems, trying to just survive day to day, it takes a toll on us. It takes a toll on us. And we're trying to outdo discrimination, right? We're trying to outwork anti Black discrimination. These forces are heavy against us. Um, and I think, the resistance in that, as Trisha Hurst says, rest is resistance. You can dehumanize me all you want over there. I will not participate in my own dehumanization. I won't do it. I have to rest. I am a human being. I have to, just like a plant, right? I have to water myself. I have to feed myself. I have to give myself basic necessities. in order to sustain my life. If not, I won't be here for long. And I've seen this play out, and it really is that serious. I've seen this play out in my own life. Again, with my dad passing away at 39, that's so young. And I know I'm not the only one this has happened to, right? We see family members, we see our loved ones pass away so early. What is the impact of stress on our lives, on our health, on our physical health? It cannot be understated. So yeah, y'all. It's real. It's real. Hey, Fed. Hello, hello. Yes, hey, welcome, welcome. Lady Bird, to enjoy and to rest, nailing it. It's a right, not a privilege of certain tax brackets. Yeah, it's a right. Rest is a human right. Just when you think like of all living things, everything has to rest. And the fact that we're given this messaging that we can't rest, that is dehumanizing in and of itself. Of course, we need to rest. We come here knowing how to rest. It is only through socialization and receiving these messages that you better not be lazy, in whose eyes are we viewing ourselves through. We have to like view ourselves through our own eyes. And I know I'm not, and even that term, right, is problematic, but I know that I need to rest. I know that I need to rest. Your body gives you signals that you need to rest. There's no way around it, right? In order for your life to be sustainable, in order to prioritize your health, you have to. You have to have downtime. We think about these machines, right? And how they want us to be machines. They want us to be machines in line with the legend of John Henry, right? They want us to keep producing no matter how we feel. And you know what? This makes me think about like when a loved one does pass away and we get maybe 1 day of bereavement within these systems, maybe 1 day if we're lucky. And it has to be someone in our nuclear family, right? Another concept that is just completely forced on us, the nuclear family. Our families are expansive. You're telling me I can't care, I can't mourn for someone. It was my cousin, my aunt. A lot of these are just it's not human. It's not human and it's not us. It's not our culture, and that's why it feels so wrong because it is. Hope and victory. We have been brainwashed. Thank God we're unlearning to save ourselves. I love this. Unlearning to save ourselves. Yes. Yes. And this is serious, right? This is serious. This is life and death sometimes to save ourselves. Like I said, seeing people pass away so early. I know that this is life and death. This is serious. We have to put our well-being first. We have to put ourselves first. And the resistance is in resting and viewing ourselves as human. It really is. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. The ladybird also having to consciously overwrite the messages that praise the John Henryism. That part. I've learned to reject that cognitive distortion. Ooh, that's big. The messages that praise John Henryism. And you know what? That reminds me. I have to shout out the whole reason I came upon this term. I think she was another Black woman social worker who commented on my post on Instagram. And my post was, I'm over Black excellence. We deserve to rest. We deserve to be mediocre. We deserve to be average. That was my original post in February 2022. And she commented on that. John Henryism is real. And that was the first time I was introduced to this term. So, right, the power of community knowledge sharing. Her commenting that led me down the path of researching what is John Henryism? What is it? And how am I experiencing this in my own life? How have seeing my family members pass away so young, how have they been affected by this? Yeah, thank you. I'm learning to rest and apply self care. Yeah, that's so important. Resting, resting, caring for yourself. Even if these systems don't view us as human, we can view ourselves as human. We have that power. We always have that power. Naima, hello, hello. Thank you for being here. Right. Like, how are you going to tell me who is worthy to be bereaved? Yep. That, yep. How are you going to tell me who is worthy to be bereaved? Who are you? Are you in my life? Do you know what relationship I had to this person? I have, yeah, that's real. Only within the nuclear family, right? This made up concept of a family, a dad, a mom, 2 kids, right? That's constantly impressed on us. It's like, why? If someone outside of that paradigm passes away who we care for, we love, right? It's like there's no room for that. There's no room for that. We have to show documentation all the time. Why do I have to show documentation? The level of inhuman, like, of that alone, right? The trauma, I have to relive that to show you this, to try to prove to you, I'm sorry, who are you? Who are you to approve anything? But they teach us that they hold the rubber stamp to approve. It's okay to grieve this person. I don't need your approval. Yeah. Okay. Hello, hello, welcome. Yeah, happy to see you here. Yes, Lady Bird. My first series of regular ooh, heart palpitations after turning 40, then being put on meds was my wake up call. These systems aren't invested in our quality of life, so we divest as much as possible. Yes. Ooh, heart palpitations. Yeah, I have already experienced those. I'm only 29. I'm only 29, but the stress of being in these systems day to day, working ourselves, again, John Henryism, working ourselves like machines. We're not machines. We're not machines. There are times when we have, lower energy, higher energy. It fluctuates, just like everything in life. But we're taught that we have to be productive every single day. We have to overwork ourselves every single day to try to prove to someone that we're worthy. No, no. Thank you for sharing that. I can relate to that. Yeah. And a lot of us, gets to that point, like I said, to where our health breaks down. And then it's a wake up call. I can't keep doing it like this. I can't. So if we have that knowledge early on, which is what I'm hoping to share with generations coming up, right? View yourself as human. Take rest. Take rest. Because if you're looking for other people to grant you permission to do it, who are benefiting from these systems, who are benefiting from you being exhausted, they will never, ever grant you time to rest. Yeah. My twin says yes. It has taken me to be ousted from a corporate job to realize I need to honor what's important to me, my sanity or a check. And so, yeah, not going back, taking this time to heal and find myself. Yeah. I'm glad you have time. Glad you have time to do that. You deserve that. Yeah. My sanity or a check. Ooh, that's real. I can relate to that. How many of us have had to choose between those two? Your sanity or a check? Why? Why? Why are we put in this position? Thank you. Yeah. I've witnessed so much abuse in the workplace. I'm thinking about sharing my experiences one day, although it's very painful. I can relate to that. Yeah. And take your time. Take your time. Take your time to work through it yourself, right? Because sharing sometimes can, like you said, open up those wounds again. And me leading, so I led 2 healing circles on healing from workplace trauma. And I had to stop those because I was being triggered in the process. I hadn't given myself enough time to heal yet before I was trying to help other people heal. So it's okay to give yourself time and space to work through that on your own before you share that. Yeah. And I can relate to that. That black cat 15. I've seen too many black women in particular work hard and get no reward for it. I'm not interested in killing myself for people who would step over my body for a dime. Yeah, it's real. Yeah. Who would step over my body. We've seen it play out. We've seen it play out even recently. Temple University acting president, right? Who passed away during an event, if y'all have seen that story. And they kept going with the event. She passed away during the event and they kept the event going. Why? As if her life didn't matter. As if we're just going to the next phase of the program. No, no. Yeah. Who are you? Yes. Who are you? Mm, yep. Okay. Yes. Lady Blur, yes, I've been done with Black excellence. I'm for Black peace and Black enrichment. Keep your basic needs met and no performance necessary over here. Focus on emotional regulation. Ooh, that's powerful. Yes, Black peace and Black enrichment. I love that. I love that. Yeah, emotional regulation. Ooh, that's big. Yeah, yeah. And that's something I'm also focusing on as a someone who experienced childhood trauma. Right, emotional regulation is a healing process in and of itself because a lot of these experiences are rooted in what we experienced in childhood. And so to go back to that takes time, takes patience, um, understanding with yourself. Yeah. Thank you. At Black Cat 15, especially with families of color where you might have non-nuclear family that isn't blood but is very close to you. How can you not give me space to grieve? It's simple. It's so simple, right? Someone does not have to be blood related to us for us to love them, for us to be in close community with them, to have relationships with them. So when they pass away, of course, we're going to grieve. Why are we not giving time for that? Well, because these systems don't view us as human. So first of all, they don't even believe we have the capacity to grieve. There's that. And then they don't value our relationships because they don't look like what their relationships look like. I'm not adhering to your model. I don't know who gave you, a lot of the times we're treated like we're guests on someone else's planet. And we have to adhere to their rules and their models of doing things. I don't agree with that. Uh-uh. It is anti-human. It is. Hey, yeah. Enough vitamin T. We're not machines. You need to hear that over and over. We're not. We're not machines. No, we're not. The fact that our bodies are reacting to these systems, they tell us to ignore it. That part, that part, physically reacting to the treatment that we're experiencing, to the overexertion. But we just have to ignore it to keep pressing on. That's not sustainable. That's only going to lead to one thing, and that's premature death. I've seen it up close. Yeah, that's yeah. Lady Bird, yes, when AI chatbot bots are more empathetic than human performance reviews. There's an anti-human case being reinforced in their system. So, ooh, that's true. That's true. Yep. And yeah, algorithms. Ooh, algorithms. Ooh. And who are algorithms created by? That's a whole other life. But yeah, it constantly pushes us to produce, produce, produce. It recreates the plantation system, producing so that I can keep reaping the benefits. And you're exhausting yourself in the process trying to keep up with an inhuman system. Yeah. Black cat was I'm currently on medical leave because the stress of work was too much and I was having anxiety attacks too regularly. I'm glad I have the time to rest now. I'm learning how to incorporate rest. Yes. I'm glad you do too. I'm glad you do too. Yeah. 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 And I also took medical leave when I was at a toxic job that I left due to anxiety, right? Part of that was them giving me two jobs. Again, going back to the workhorse phenomenon that Jackie Ingram shares a lot. And I interviewed Jackie on my channel a couple weeks ago. If y'all have seen that. Um, but yeah, it's real. It's real. And so many of us are navigating this. Yeah. They're constantly increasing productivity metrics and goals like we're robots. It's really oppressive system. They are constantly. It's never enough. It's never enough. No, there's no place where it will be like, okay, we've exhausted ourselves enough. A lot of thoughts. Oppressors don't know a limit, right? Colonizers don't know, okay, it's time for me to stop because that would mean that they're not in the colonizer mindset. They don't know a time to stop. They don't know a limit. And that's why we see the constant extraction of the earth to the point like, it's like, you can't keep doing this. You realize that. But they don't. When they're in that mindset of constantly seeking more and more and more, it's exhausting just looking at it from the outside. Yeah. This is so scary. Yeah. I want us all free. Me too. Yeah. And hard work always pays off is a lie. It is a lie. Yes. It's a lie. Ooh. Black peace. Yeah. Yes. Black peace. Yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm sending you so much love. I'm sending you so much love. Ooh. Mm. Yeah. It's real. It's real. Yeah. And we're just expected to keep going. I mean, even getting into like the pandemic, right? We're expected to just go past that as if we didn't just experience severe trauma, seeing our loved ones be sick, pass away, us being sick, right? Because I experienced that myself, having our bodies physically altered, sometimes permanently, by a once in a lifetime pandemic. And we're just expected to keep going as if nothing happened. It's a lot. So if you are dealing with the exhaustion, any of the effects from living in these systems, you're not alone. A lot of us are dealing with this. And I really don't have any, answer or solution besides to treat yourself as human and then work to burn the systems down because it's just not sustainable. It's just really not. Yeah. Yeah. So just getting back to my notes on John Henryism, right? So Dr. Sherman James, he did a study in the 1970s. A black man in rural North Carolina, one of the people he interviewed, John Henry Martin, had worked day and night for a year to pay off a loan that he took out from a bank, um, to pay off, I think, a farm. I think it was a farm that he and his wife had bought. So he worked day and night, and now he's experiencing hypertension, all these health implications from doing this because he grew up and he saw his dad under the effects of sharecropping, right? Which is a whole other oppressive system that we can talk about on another live. But seeing his dad be constantly in debt, constantly owing someone, the stress of that. And so him working himself, overexerting himself, exhausting himself. Now he's experiencing hypertension, a lot of different health implications, right? And it's us trying to outwork oppression all the time. What effects does that have on our bodies? Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's real. It's real. Yeah. Yeah. So a lot of the times we're using high effort coping to overcome endemic problems, to overcome systemic issues. When these issues are individualized, that is, it's taught that it's something that we're doing or not doing. We're putting in so much extra effort to try to overcome this. And really, it was never what we were doing in the first place. It was not for a lack of effort. It was not because we were lazy. None of those things are true. But we're taught that they are, and we're taught that we can use individual effort to try to overcome systemic oppression, which leads a lot of us, again, to experiencing lower life expectancy, seeing our family members pass away so early, because we're pushing ourselves to the point of exhaustion to try to overcome systems that we didn't create. Yeah. Yeah. Mhm. The fact that this is shared as folklore, as if this was somehow good. Mm, that part. Yep. Yep. Ooh, ooh, it's real. As if this is something to be, "Oh, wow, he outworked a machine." No. He outworked a machine and he passed away. He lost his life. Why are we celebrating that? He beat the machine, but he died from exhaustion. The end goal of us constantly exhausting ourselves, overexerting ourselves, it leads to one path. It leads to one path as human beings, right? To humanize ourselves. It leads to one path. That's, you know, that's health implications, mental, physical, spiritual, all three sometimes. Early death. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Lady Bird, thank you for continuing to facilitate these spaces. Yeah. Even on plantation, someone made space to educate others on the various considerations to safely pursue freedom. Thank you for the support. Mhm. Thank you. Yeah. I don't take that lightly. So thank you. Thank you. Yeah. And it's my pleasure. I'm kind of leaning into facilitating, leaning to my social work bag a little bit. But after being like in a toxic work environment, which is the case for a lot of us, coming back to my skill set, owning my skill set after people have questioned it for so long. Now I have to validate myself. And y'all are helping me do that. So thank you. Yeah. Black Cat 15. I've experienced that people leaving just spread work around instead of replacing them. Thank you for sharing this. This is bringing up memories from the job I was at. And yes, that's so true because they constantly want to hoard resources, right? They have the resources to replace people, but they want to keep even more of them to do what? To just sit on them? It's it's confusing. Um, and we know that the more resources in this world that we live in, the more control and power you have. Ooh, that's real. Instead of just replacing them. The answer is simple. And a lot of us, when we call things out, the answer is glaring, it's obvious. Then the daggers come pointed at us because now we're calling out something that's very, very deep because someone wanted more power and control. They wanted to hoard more resources. It's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah, this is a whole lot. Yeah, so like I said, rest is crucial. Rest is crucial. Um, in sharing my story, seeing my dad pass away at 39 from a cardiovascular issue, right? So the stress that we come into contact with day in and day out, right? Racial weathering is real. The weathering on our bodies from experiencing racial discrimination day in and day out. It takes a physical toll on our health, and the impact is not small. The impact is literally life and death for a lot of us. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah, yeah. And I hope to, I know I'm not the only one, unfortunately. Unfortunately, so many of our family members die at such early ages. No, it's not natural. They try to convince us that it's natural. No, it's not. No, it's not. We're living in systems of oppression. Of course, that's going to stress us out. Of course, that's going to cause issues like hypertension, cardiovascular disease. The way that stress impacts us physically is real. It's very real. Yeah. Yeah. Can't outwork oppression, Lady Glory. Thank you. You can't. You can't. Nope. And it's often a trauma response, right? Like fawning falls under the blanket of fawning, Black excellence, trying to constantly appeal to your oppressor, trying to convince them that you're human all the time by doing more, by overworking, overexerting yourself. See, I'm worthy. Why do they have the ability to determine if we're worthy? When I've seen, if we got to be real, the mediocrity that exists for some folks, the lack of creativity, the lack of understanding of the world, and yet they're viewed as the model that we should aspire to. I'm not aspiring to that model. Mm-mm. No. Yeah. The educator. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. 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 Hope and victory. Exhausting ourselves to make people who dislike us wealthier. People who don't even view us as human beings. They don't. It never changed. They told us that they had a wake up moment, right? When we think about all the struggles during the civil rights movement, just movements over time, try to convince us that they were different from what we experienced, from what our ancestors experienced for centuries. And then we get into these workplaces in 2023, and we see that we're being treated the exact same way. It might look differently. The core elements are still there. So that tells me some folks did not change at all. Some folks are still continuing their ancestors' legacies and proud to do it. Mhm. Yeah. Southern Babe. Hello. Yes. Wow. Yes. They never fill in roles. They never fill in roles. Just spread the work off. The job is posted, but never seem to fill, even though there are layoffs in my field. I'm leaving my current role because of this. Yeah. And y'all sharing this with me just made me realize that I'm not alone, right? Because this is what I experienced. The job came open and I that was the role for me, I guess. That was the second role assigned to me instead of them filling the role, trying to get the most with the least. If that is not plantation system model thinking, trying to squeeze out labor for the lowest cost possible. Ooh, yeah, yeah. Mm, y'all, thank you. Thank you for sharing this. Like I said, as y'all share with me, my understanding grows too. I never want this to be viewed as like me just talking. So thank you for sharing this. J. Rowe, yeah, this is the one. That is their only business model. Oppression, exploitation, theft. That's it. That's it. Yeah. Yeah. That's it. Ooh, Lady Bird. That tactic is now being weaponized as covert retaliation to quiet quitting. They will stress you and destroy your body, hoping you quit. Oh wow, you can't collect unemployment. Wow. Piling on more work. I hadn't thought about this before. Thank you. hmm Covert retaliation to quiet quitting is piling on additional responsibilities, more work to eventually destroy you, your body, your health, right? To where you have no choice. But again, preserve your sanity or your health or collect a paycheck. That's the options we're often, led to. Mhm. Ooh, yeah. Hello, sunshine. Hello. Yeah. I believe self care, self love, boundaries, and speaking up is a solution. Knowing you are enough, regardless of the level of effort, regardless if I do something today or if I don't. Right? I'm still worthy. I'm still worthy. Yeah. And speaking up. Ooh, that's big. That's big. Yep. Silence only benefits the oppressor. Mm-hmm. Yep. And I forgot you said that, so I do want to attribute that quote. I forgot the person, but yes, it's true. Silence only benefits the oppressor. The category is exploitation. Yes, it is. It is. Mm, yeah. The educator. At my last job, they used the N word on a daily basis, but I did the least just to get my paycheck. Ooh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That kind of, ooh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. Um, None of us should have to endure this for a paycheck. And the fact that this is so many of our story, right? As we're sharing our stories, realizing how connected they are, realizing how many of the themes carry over from job to job, from industry to industry, because it's a system of oppression at play. It's a larger system of oppression. Anytime we can see a pattern in our lives as we share, that means there's a greater system at play that's working to have the same effects. Again, no matter what job, no matter what industry we're in, we're experiencing the same things. The hostility, the aggression, the mistreatment, the blatant discrimination. There is a system of oppression at play, and people are upholding it joyfully. My supervisor flat out told me that I'm doing a great job, especially since I'm doing the work of two people. And that's another thing, the praise, like someone mentioned before, the praise for this, for John Henryism, working yourself to the point of complete exhaustion, working your body past the point where it tells you to stop. We're praised for that. We're praised for that. I'm sorry. None of us should be doing two jobs. None of us should be doing two jobs. I absolutely hate that. Yeah. Since then, I've been pawning my work off on my coworkers because I'm not the one or the two. Resistance. Resistance. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. They're gonna do what they're gonna do. They don't change their tactics. It might look a little differently than it did in the 1800s, right? Or they don't change their tactics. We always have resisted. hmm Yeah, that part. Sounds like they need to double your income. Yep. Yep. Ooh. And something I have learned going through what I experienced is you can ask for an updated job description and salary level. And we know that retaliation is real, so I don't want to undercut that. But yeah, if you're given additional responsibilities, your job description needs to be updated along with your salary. And they count on us not knowing that we can do that, not believing that we have the power to do that, the fear that we need income so bad, they like to dangle over our heads um, to control us. So they count on that. But you do have the power to say, I'm doing additional responsibilities. I need my salary updated. Yeah. Because they depend on our labor. They depend on our labor to maintain their positions. Yeah. 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 You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank y'all so much for sharing. Yeah. Southern Babe, mediocrity is allowed for some, but not for us. I'm taking a step back from. Yep. Allowed for some, but not for us. Mm. Yep. Yep. We have to have all the degrees, all the credentials, all the work experience for entry level role. For an entry level role. Yeah. Yeah. Being an overachiever to rest. Yeah. Being an overachiever to rest. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of us are recovering overachievers, myself included. Um, always having to have the best grade, the top grade. And I've never been really competitive, right? But I was kind of competing against myself, which is kind of another level of conditioning to compete against yourself, to try to outdo yourself all the time, because that's a never ending cycle. Yeah. So a lot of us are recognizing that us overachieving, how did it benefit us? Or did it really harm us? And they told us that it would benefit us, but it, led to mental health effects, physical health effects, some that are irreversible. And they sold us this lie that if we constantly achieve, if we constantly got the best grades, that we'd be okay, that we'd be safe. They lied. They lied. Yeah. Yeah. Don O'Neill, can oppression be a system like sending your children to school to do work so they learn the routine that school transitions to work? Yes, absolutely. Oppression is a system. Yeah. And that is right. We're indoctrinated with this messaging in school that we have to be perfect. School. Ooh, the American school system. Yes. We're treated like robots from such an early age. I'm talking about from like 4 or 5, sometimes even early if you're in preschool. Um, we're treated like robots. A lot of the things that kids naturally do, we're told we can't do it because it's rude or we have behavior issues. Just kids getting up to just be kids. But we're taught we have to stay like even the instruction style, right? We have to stay quiet, listen to someone speak, sometimes speak incorrectly, which we know to be true, because they have that position of authority. We're taught that we can't question it from such an early age when our brains are in the prime stage of development. We're conditioned to be like robots, to be like robots a lot. So that's real. And thank you for that comment. Yeah, sending children to school to do work so they learn. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because how closely does like the corporate model resemble school system? Our work environments mirror the school systems. It's all the same thing. It's a system of oppression at play. And we're taught that we have to adhere to these cultural norms that were never ours. They were never ours, they were forced on us. And so when it doesn't feel right, we feel like something is wrong with us. Versus connecting it to our history. How did we get here? We didn't just arrive on the land that we now know as the US. There was a whole process that we have to be aware um, of history. History is important. How did we arrive to this place? Where did we come from? How did we get here? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, the sunshine. In the meantime, they're awarded for doing the least, considered a hero for speaking up and bucking the system. Yep. Yep. Awarded for doing the least. Ooh, yep. Yeah. Ooh, it's real. It's real. Yep. I'm not going to talk about the ally awards. My previous place of employment, yeah, they had awards for being an ally. Now, an ally is something that you're supposed to do not secretly, but in the background. You're not supposed to have shine because you being an ally means that you already benefit from a system. So I don't understand. That's a whole other thing that you would need an award, that you would need additional shine, additional recognition, when the fact that you're an ally means you're already benefiting from the system. You're already in a dominant position. You don't need more shine. You don't need more shine, but that's true. Being viewed as a hero. Yeah. Ooh. Educator, exactly. I'm glad I stopped with my master's degree. I wised up. I never not want another one of their degrees. Ooh, that's real. That's real. Yeah. Ooh. I'm kind of in that process too. Because I thought about getting my PhD. I don't think I can do a US education system institution again. It took too much out of me. Every time I've entered back into it with renewed hope after healing, right? With renewed hope, maybe this time will be different. It's not. A lot of the times it's worse. I know that when I went back from a master's degree, it was worse in a lot of ways. In a lot of ways. Yeah. And there is the option to pursue higher education outside of the US, which I'm also looking into. So the US is not the only place with universities, even though we're taught that they're the best in the world. American exceptionalism, the myth. Um, yeah, that is also an option if you are looking, if your dream is to pursue higher education, don't limit yourself to what the US has to offer because the bar is so low. The bar is, yeah. Southern Babe, grow the praise. I'm an entry level software analyst doing mid level work. My job wanted me to be an ad to bring, oh no. Reason I'm a feminine Black woman that works in STEM. Never said understood. Ooh, that's real. That's real. Yep. And me being in banking. Mhm. Yep. I had an internship at a bank where they wanted to take pictures of us. Ugh, that is horrible. I know exactly how that feels too. Yeah. Yep. Like they use you as a prop almost. Mhm. To try to market what they're doing. And sometimes to try to evade accountability for what they're doing behind the scenes. Mhm. Yeah. Exactly. They're kids. They're kids. They're supposed to be all over the place, noisy and messy. Yes, they are. They're kids. They're kids. And you know what? Being outside of the US now, traveling outside the US, seeing kids have the opportunity to be kids and not have to be so robotic like we're taught to be from such a young age. It's eye-opening, the level of socialization that occurs, right? It's try to strip us of our humanity, of our creativity from such a young age. Like, just sit there, be quiet, don't ask questions. You're telling kids to not ask questions. That's how you learn. And then we're slapped with the label of having behavior issues. Mhm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're slapped with the label of behavior issues when really we're just being kids a lot. We're just being kids. It's it's real. Hope and victory. We were conditioned to be voiceless. Thank God we are unlearning. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. What was learned can be unlearned. And it really sucks that we have to get to this age, a lot of us. We have to get to adulthood to unlearn everything that we've been taught for our entire life. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of work. Oof. But yet, unlearning is possible. Unlearning is possible. Getting back to our humanity is possible. Not getting praise for being a good, privileged person. Mhm. Yeah. And, I've been writing about social work and my experiences in social work. Um, there's quite a few Black women social workers who have raised um, this issue right in the field. Ooh, the praise for being a good, privileged person. Mm, it's real. So if you are in a helping profession like social work and you've experienced the hypocrisy, um, the narcissism, that's a whole other that's a whole other thing. Communal narcissism, which is just using communities um, and their suffering and their pain to make you feel better. Um, by you giving a donation or something like that that we see in the social work field a lot. You lending a helping hand, building up your self image, um, using other people's pity to do that. It's it really is. Yeah, to them taking your photos. Uh-huh. Yeah. And for folks, for Black folks who are in STEM fields, um, places where there are very few of us, they love to do that. They love to do that. Photo op, be on the pamphlet, be on the website, be on the advertisement. Show everyone that we're not anti-Black when really behind the scenes we know that's a completely different story. Um, but it's giving cover. It's giving cover. Yeah. So that's real. That's real though. Okay. Yeah. I want to thank y'all so much for commenting, sharing. Um, this does feel like a community knowledge sharing space, which I love. Um, but yeah, I guess I just want to leave with rest. Rest. Um, you do not have to co-sign your own dehumanization, even though they want us to outwork a machine, similar to the legend of John Henry. They want us to outwork a machine. They want us to be machines. We're not. We're human beings. We need rest. A lot of us have seen the effects of people not resting in our families. and not to put this on individuals, right? And not being able to rest because these systems sometimes make it impossible, but we can resist. We can resist. Um, Rest, care for ourselves, realize that our lives have to be sustainable for us, take care of ourselves. Uh, and yeah, yeah. These issues like hypertension, cardiovascular diseases that we've seen so many of our loved ones pass away from at such a young age. This is real. This is real. Um, and hopefully we can teach future generations to it's okay to rest. They try to sell us a lie that if we work harder, we'll be able to overcome the systems that they create to oppress us. No. So yeah, yeah. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yes, and I did link the video on John Henryism in the description. If y'all want to check that out, it is interesting. It's very interesting because the person, Dr. Sherman James, interviewed, his name was John Henry Martin, and that just happened like that. That he interviewed him, and he had a similar experience in working so hard to pay off the debt um, on the farm that he bought, so that he wouldn't wind up like his dad, um, who had to navigate the oppressive anti-black system of sharecropping in North Carolina. Oh yeah. You're welcome. You're welcome. Love the sunshine. Yes. So glad to see you. Yes. Yeah. You're welcome. You're welcome. Lady Bird, I'm legit terrified when I meet other Black or in STEM. I offer love, but some of them ooh, get out energy. So yes, finding different humane environments that support restorative rest. Ooh, yes. Thoughts. Thoughts. Yes. Yeah, because I often felt that pressure of trying to be someone that upheld things that I was not okay with, things that were not aligned with my values. It's constant push. Like, see, you're in finance, go to the front. And no, y'all are not about to use me like that. No. Yeah. Yeah. Rest is the takeaway. Thank you, Donna. It is. Rest is the takeaway. Rest. Rest. Yeah. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah. My daughter's a senior in high school. I allow her to take as many mental health days per month as she wants. Yes. But good attendance is another oppressive system. It is. All the awards for perfect attendance. Why? Sometimes I need a rest. Sometimes I don't want to see y'all. Sometimes I don't want to see y'all because it's hard in these environments. Just being in them is hard. That is revolutionary. To take as many health days per month, as many mental health days per month as she wants. Inspiring. Thank you for sharing that. You're welcome, Naima. You're welcome. It's good to see you here. Yes. Yes, y'all. So I did link those resources in the description, the video, if you do want to learn more about John Henryism, because I find it interesting myself. Yeah, so glad to see you here. Teatime Beauty, hey, yes, 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 yes. Welcome, welcome. Sometimes I don't want to see y'all. That's a perfect way to end. Rest. Take your time away. These institutions are too much. Sometimes you just need a break from them. It's a lot. It's a lot to deal with. Sometimes I just don't want to see y'all. I don't want to look at you. It's a lot. It takes a lot. So yeah, y'all, on that note, oh, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. You're welcome. Yes. You appreciate it too. Yeah. I love it. Exactly. It's, I don't want to look at you some days. That's it, period. Because you create an oppressive environment for me that I have to navigate, that I have to put a mask on every day. Sometimes that's tiring. And I just want to lay in bed. And that can be a mental health day too, right? Taking time for yourself, resting, breathing, going out into nature, away from these oppressive people and these oppressive institutions, taking your time for yourself because you are a priority. Surrounding yourself with people who do fulfill you, who do fill you up, and away from people who drain you. Yeah. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Educator. I almost died from deep vein thrombosis 2 years ago. Cardiovascular disease I developed when I taught school. Yeah. Kills more Black women than any other disease. Rest is the cure. Mm. Thank you, the educator. Yes. Yep. Yep. And that is what my dad passed away from. Deep vein thrombosis. Yeah. Yeah. Another cardiovascular disease. Stress. How does stress impact us on such a deep level, on such a physical level? Ooh, thank you. And yes, I'm so glad you're here with us too. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. Rest is the cure. The educator said it. Rest is the cure. Rest is the cure. Rest, breathe, take it slowly. Where are we going so fast? Where are we going? All this pressure to produce. Go quickly. Why? Why? Rest. Rest. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for sharing that with us. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Oh, yay. I bought the paperback copy of Cocoon. I love it. Oh, yeah. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that. Yes, Cocoon is my book of affirmations. Um, that is linked on my channel somewhere. Y'all can find it. But yeah, affirmations for transformation. If you're going through a transformation, like learning to rest, learning how to rest, learning that it's okay to rest, and you're not lazy, as I like to call it a lot. But yeah, it's your human right. You literally have to rest to for your life to be sustainable. You have to. You have to. Yeah. I appreciate y'all so much. And until next time, thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah.